Did you see anything that looked any better? Let's start cooking. Wow, this is one of those complex meals. This is just half of the stuff out here. This chicken Parmesan by Chef John, Food Wishes, is a little time consuming. He has a sauce on his Food Wishes that I'm gonna try out, but I just go with the regular marinade sauce for the chicken Parmesan. Now, it calls for 4 skinless, boneless chicken breasts. But what I'm going to be doing is I have a total of 6. They're not the big thick ones, so they're not going to be that big, but they're going to be big enough. But I'm going to take this and I'm going to doctor this up a little bit. So I'm going to pour half of this right away into here. And just about a little bit more. And then I'm going to add my seasoning to this to doctor this up and make this a more full flavor. So I'm going to put in a little oregano, and I usually go with a teaspoon. So then cilantro, and that is a teaspoon. I would say that's about right. Maybe 2 teaspoons. And then a little Italian. You know, so I put that in about a teaspoon too. And then the reason why I'm doing this now as the first step that Chef John doesn't do is because I want this seasoning to start work itself into, okay, the sauce. And since this is the dehydrated, not fresh, it's gonna take some time. This will get even better. So we're gonna make this up, mix this up. This is the first step that I do, and I changed his recipe, and his recipe just alone is excellent. You don't need to, but everybody does a little bit different, and that's how I am. So I'm gonna put this off to the side now, okay? So basically what you need to do, grab yourself a freezer bag or something like that, is take a chicken breast, you know, and let's get the chicken breasts open because I got this. These smaller breasts were on sale, and I got them and freeze them up. Did it that way. So I don't have nothing over there. Typical me, right? So much stuff for this, and it is a little complex. So, but you can do it. Everybody, you can do this. So I'm going to bring this over here, I'm going to put it down, and I'm going to get some of that additional fat off, like right here. Did you see that right there? And I'm just going to snip that right off, kind of trim it up a little bit. You want to get these to be uniform, about 1.5 inches. And to tell you the truth, it's about 1.5 inches, okay? So I don't really need to put it in here, but if you get the big chicken breasts, the big thick ones, you know, you put them in the bag, you take your meat mallet with the soft side, and you pound this to be at the same length. And this is about 1 inch, 1.5 inches. We're gonna do a little bit of that, just a little bit, just to get it. So let's get that in there. And then what you do, so you just take it and you're trying to make it uniform so it cooks right there. That's perfect. And what did I do with that one dish? I had that dish, there it is. So I'm gonna put that chicken breast in here, okay? So now she's about 1/2 inch nice and flat. So let me get the rest of the chicken breasts out of here, clean these up. Grab your chicken breasts. Like it says 4, but we have 6, and we're gonna have some meal preps with this for additional. This one is not too bad. Just a little bit right there. We're gonna clean that up. Okay. So we'll slap this one in there. Get that out of there. And this one at the tip, we're just going to get that extra fat out of there. These are kind of small. Maybe that's why they were on sale. I think these were like $1.10 $10 a pound or something. They were really reasonable. Bought a lot of them. But it still will work. We'll get that skin fat off right there. So double check how your chicken breasts are and where you got it. And like I said, you want to get these uniformed. A little bit more right there, everybody. This is a little complex, but once you do it, it's going to be incredible. Oh, that's a small chicken breast. That must have been a tiny chicken. Tiny, tiny chicken. Okay. And we got that all cleared up. And like I said, you're trying to get this all to be uniformed. So it's not too thick because it's usually in the middle, about a ½ inch. Oh, so you just give them a light tap so they cook all uniformly. These ain't gonna be like perfectly, you know, like chicken Parmesan that you see at the restaurant. This is homemade. This is good eating. So we're just pounding that one a little bit. And guess what we just did, everybody? That's perfect. So we'll put that there. We'll get these all out. Get our hands washed because chickens can be a little slimy. I'll put that one there. Put this one here. And we'll get this one here. Okay. We got all this stuff right here, so let's get this thrown in the garbage. So let's get this all taken care of. We need a little bit more space. So we'll put this all over here, and my wife would be doing some cleaning up, so if you see her in and out of the video, that's okay. So there we go. Now, I have my sauce going. I do that first because now the herbs are getting in there and the seasoning. I got my chicken breast flattened. Now what he says to do is to put salt and pepper thoroughly on this, okay, on both sides, because it will season the chicken and give it a good flavor. So you use your salt and pepper, but I'm using my SBGO, and I'm going to get that nice and seasoned on both sides because this will give flavor to the chicken. So let's flip those over. This is so good, my wife says. All of her girlfriends just love this recipe too. You'll be really surprised how good this is going to be. But a lot of people like to add garlic, but this doesn't have a lot of that. But this is where I get my garlic. Okay, thoroughly done. Look at that. Now, we're going to let that sit and start absorbing. Now it calls for 2 eggs for the wash. But since we got 6 of them, we're going to go with 3 eggs. So this is not going to be totally just like what it says on the recipe that you can download off of my software. But this will be how I do it with 6. So we're going to give this a good whip. And we're going to have that right there sitting waiting for us. You just gotta, when you do something like this, you just gotta take your time, you know, and slowly but surely go through it. And then it doesn't become that difficult. Forgot that, everybody. So, mix your breadcrumbs and ½ cup of Parmesan cheese in a separate bowl and set aside. Now, panko is what you use. So a ½ cup, you know, you could always add more to it. But I'm just going to dump what's the left of this Italian style panko. But I do have some breadcrumbs. The panko's going to be better, so I'm going to put that in there. I always add more. Give that a good mixture. Because it doesn't seem like a lot for all that chicken. So we're going to put some more in here. Your breading, you know, you could get out of, or, you know, waste a lot of it. So you try to figure it out, but you could always make more. Now what I'm going to do is I got to get my Parmesan cheese. I didn't have any of this stuff out. So Parmesan, do I have any open? No, I do not. This is 1 1/4 cup. And they're asking for a 1/2 cup. Everybody knows I work for Sargento, so I'm using the Sargento. Chef John likes to do everything freshly grated and so on and so forth. This is one of my ways that I just get it done. I let Sargento do all that for me. This is going to help the crust, and it's going to help it blend, melt together, and get crispy. I would say that's about a 1/2, maybe a little bit more. So what you're looking at is a nice breading. We're going to put this off to the side. Now, I have my flour right here, everybody. Boom, flour. And I had to go get a sifter, if that's how you say it, I do believe. And I forgot what I did with it. Okay, I found it. I moved it. He says, place the flour in a shifter or strainer and sprinkle over. That's the way he likes it. See, brand new. Instead of getting your fingers. So what we're going to do is we're just going to follow the way he says to do it. So he's calling for, where is it on this? Okay, salt, pepper, panko, 1/2 cup. All-purpose, 2 tablespoons. More if needed. I'm going to do a lot more because I got more here. So that's 2, that's 4, and that's 6. So and then flip them and get them on both sides. Get them really good. I can do it this way. Smack that right on there. Get that coated really good, everybody. Oh yeah, that's coated really good. And there's extra in here. But that's a lot better than when you make it all up with a ton of it in a separate bowl. Okay, paper towel. Now, let's get this flour out of here. I'm going to put this flour over on this side so I got room. I made a little bit of a mess here, everybody. You're going to do that with flour. I hate to say. Wait till we get to some of our desserts and that and cookies. Whew, that can get messy, everybody. So let's look here. Now, see, I don't make this too often. I got to read this quite often, you know. All right, evenly coated on both. Now it says dip the chicken breast into the beaten egg, transfer it to the breadcrumbs, press the crumbs into both sides, repeat the breast, set aside for 15 minutes. So let's get ourselves a nice plate. Sorry about the noise. All right, we got the plate. We're gonna put our pan on the range. There we go. And now we whip up these eggs. There you go. Have our panko and cheese right there. And now we're just going to take it and we're going to shake it. We're going to double check, make sure we have everything. Dip into the egg wash. Flip it. Okay? Make sure you get it all over it. And then get the excess off. Right on in. Okay? Now, since I let that do that, it should be safe to touch without getting ourselves all too messy and sticky. So we're pressing that in and we're giving this a good coating. And we're going to take off a little bit of the extra. We're going to make sure that we got all the grooves and cracks taken care of. And this is going to make an incredible crispy chicken Parmesan plate. We're going to let that seal up. Okay. Let's get the next one. Now, do this in your whole batch, and I would count it as 15 minutes after your last one. That's the way I do it. This gives me an opportunity to start seeing what's the other next I have to get ready for our dinner. Where are we at so we time it all? So like I said, drip that off, place that in there. And then press and press, making sure that you're getting the whole thing covered. He says to heat 1 cup of olive oil in a medium pan on high heat until bringing it to a simmer. Cook chicken until golden, about 2 minutes on each side. The chicken will finish in the oven. So I want to get it at least halfway when you put the chicken in there. So let's get our olive oil. I have it over there. Haha. And it says 1 cup. So yeah, that's not a lot, but that was just about 1 cup. And if you look at it, there's no way of telling if that's up to 350 because you can't get any temperature reading with a gauge. So I'm just going to add just a tad more so it gets it all the way around. There we go. I would say that would have been about 1.5 cups. I could probably fit 3 to 4 chickens in there. So let's get our oven preheating. Now the oven needs to be preheated to 450. Bake 450. Start. And this is the first step. And then comes the assembly. Let's get these fried up. I'll see you over by the range. All right, this is getting hot. I could smell it. So I can't tell if that's at 350, but I'm gonna go with that. It's not simmering yet, but she is pretty warm. And I can take, let me see, a little piece of this breading. And this is a test. Let's see how that goes. Look at that. See how golden brown that is, and it's just sizzling and it's popping up? That means she's getting right about at the right temperature. So we're just going to leave that in there because that's okay to me. And watch yourself when you're putting this in. Down and away so it doesn't splatter and you don't get yourself a nice burn. There you go. 1 to 2 minutes on each side. All right, so 5:59 right now, or I just use my stopwatch. You got your timer. So 1 to 2 minutes. What you're doing is you're just trying to get this golden brown, okay? Oh, just look at that, just go. And that's all that you're doing right now. You're not cooking the full chicken this way. That will be finished in the oven at 450 degrees. So what we're doing right now is we're just trying to get this to crisp up. And that is basically, I should have got my bigger tongs out in the garage. Yeah, see, a little warm. That's a little darker than I wanted it to be, but that's okay. My wife won't mind that. And if anything, she would like that. So let me get my pan. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask my wife, can you get me some paper towels, please? I turn this down to about medium now. Yeah, that's done. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some paper towels down and take a little bit of that extra grease off in the pan that we're going to be doing when we get this all taken care of. So let me do it this way. Try to be. Don't do that, people, with your finger. I didn't grab the right tongs. I have my nice grilling tongs out in the garage. Okay, we're going to get those in there and just kind of dry off a little bit. Take a little of that extra grease off. We're going to put that right there. And she's got little bubbles, so let's get this in here. 1, 2, 3. All right, now, I'm smarter than the average bear, everybody. And sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. I took those extra paper towels to drain off that extra olive oil, and I have that right over there right now. I can put this right here. Smarter. All right, so we got them in our dishes. I couldn't fit them all in my big, so I have a small one. And now with the tomato sauce, he says not too much, you know, so I'm gonna put 2 nice tablespoons in on each one, because you could have too much. You want to taste the chicken. This is just going to enhance the chicken. So you see how I'm getting 2 of them right on and spreading it nice and even. That's what I'm looking for, and that's what we like to do. So, like I said, I did add some herbs to this. So now this is going to be a more tasty. Now we're going to add this one. Oh, that was almost perfect. And this one's a small one. So we're just going to spread that around. Give it a nice coat. Just like that. Let's see, can we add just a tad more on this one? Oh, the oven is ready, everybody. And then this one. There we go. Not too much You just want that. You want to taste the chicken, the breading, the cheese. Now, Chef John, the way he does it, he likes everything fresh from his cheese, cut up and everything else like that. So right now, after you put the marinade on, then what you do is you put your fresh basil on, and I got it chopped up for me because I wanted to get it, because there's so much stuff going on. So I'm putting that on there, and you just put a sprinkle of that on, more or less to your choosing. There we go. And then we have that. So the basil is on, and now he's calling for provolone cheese. Sprinkle 1 to 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese on top of that and drizzle. So provolone cheese. So we're gonna go with the Mott's provolone because that's what we like. So don't go too crazy with this. All right, so we're gonna put a nice layer like that. Oh, it's just, look how beautiful that's getting. And we're gonna go over here with a nice layer, just like this. Maybe a little bit more on that one. What do y'all think? Yeah, Now, my wife likes her cheese dark. She likes it brown, where you can do it that way. You just leave it in for a little bit longer. I usually hit the broiler on for a little bit to get that cheese brown for her. Or what you can do, everybody, is if you like it nice and gooey, you just take it out without doing it that way. Okay, we're done. Oh, I just launched cheese everywhere. Okay. Let me get the other bag open. Now you could use like a 6-cheese Italian blend. There's so many different ways you can do that. Oh, that's just perfect. You could tell that now I'm finally getting on to not the bottom of a cheese bag. Okay, let's just put some big stripes right there. All right, now, after we put on our provolone, but we did provolone mozzarella, we're gonna top that with the Parmesan cheese, about 1 to 2 tablespoons. You already know I don't measure anything. Oh, why did I open up this Parmesan when I have this Parmesan open already? Looks like I got multiple Parmesans open now. What am I gonna do with that? Looks like I'm gonna have to make more. And we're gonna put that right on there like that, so that melts right in there. A little bit more on the bigger pieces, just like that. All right, we're gonna put a lot more on this one. A little bit more right there, yeah. Good old Parmesan. There we go. And then the small one right here, we're gonna put some on. And a little bit like that. Okay. Now you drizzle. We're almost done, everybody. Now we drizzle with olive oil. I found my olive oil, I put it back on the wrong area. So now we just drizzle a little bit this on there to help with the cheese. So we're just gonna go just like that. Just take your time. You don't have to put too much of it on there. You just want to drizzle it. Oh yeah, this is gonna be so good. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, everybody. All right. Airborne. Oh, let me chase that. Woof, woof. I caught the ball, Dad. I amused myself. Now we bake this for 15 to 20 minutes until it reads done. golden brown. So let's get that cooking. All right, look at that chicken Parmesan. Right out, nice and hot, starting to get golden brown. Let's scoop this up, let's get eating. That's it, everything is done. We'll see you at the end.